Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel where everyone is welcome. Today's video is of course the May Plan With Me, set up my bullet journal, whatever you want to call it. We are having fun. We are setting up for May, which I cannot believe is already here. This video is going up a little bit later than I had planned originally, but that's just how life goes sometimes. I've had a little bit of a life update, a little bit of just some changes happening that I've had to kind of process and prepare for. Not necessarily bad, but yeah, so that's what's been happening with me. I've been a little bit busier, but we are doing today's theme. I'm very excited about it, as always. It is flowers. I feel like May is such a springtime theme. You have to do something springy, and flowers are absolutely perfect for it, which I hinted at it last month in my April Plan With Me video, because that theme was skies, like cloudy skies. There were some bright cotton candy pastel skies, but there were also some more cloudy, gray, rainy skies, because the idea behind it is that April showers bring May flowers. So we are here and we're doing flowers, and tulips to me just scream the epitome of spring. They're bright and pink and yellow and orange, and they're just so bright and happy. Originally I had thought about doing forget-me-nots. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot what they were called. I really did. Sorry, that was so cheesy. But I wanted to do forget-me-nots originally because blue is my favorite color and forget-me-nots are one of my favorite flowers. But then I started thinking about tulips and I couldn't get them out of my brain. And so I just started scrolling on Pinterest and found a couple bouquets that were so pretty. And so I immediately knew that that's what I wanted to do for the cover page, which is what we are working on right now. The bouquet is wrapped in this sort of brown craft paper. I just thought that was really pretty. And then the bow is so cute. And I tried to make it to where it was a see-through bow, so you can kind of see some of the brown underneath. At least that was the goal. And I should mention that we are using, or I am using, not we, I'm using colored pencils for this spread. I wanted to be able to shade all of the beautiful colors of the flowers and sort of get some of those line details in them. But I didn't want to use paint, and I didn't think markers were the right move either. I think they kind of would have been more solid in color, and like I said, I really wanted to get those details. And I also wanted it to have a sketchbook sort of vibe, so very sketchy, very not necessarily messy, but just like more of a sketch vibe, more of a loose, not so perfect. I just thought it was really pretty, so that's what we're doing right now. I went with pink and yellow tulips. I thought those would be the most bright colors. And then I go in with this really pretty green color for all of the leaves and greenery and things. And then on the left side, which you would have already seen, I cut off around the single tulip and I added in some craft paper in the back. And I wish that I had some of that brown craft paper that the bouquet is wrapped in, because that would have been just chef's kiss. It would have blended everything beautifully, but I did not have any brown craft paper, and I don't know, I've just been trying not to spend a bunch of money on craft stuff because I have a closet full of paints and brushes and colored pencils and so much craft paper. It is ridiculous. I have stacks of it. And so I was like, surely I can find another piece of paper to use. And so I found this sort of denim craft paper and put it in the back, and I do use it throughout the spread. But on the left, I did a wonderful quote, and it says, "Perhaps in this season you are a tulip, freshly bloomed at the start of something new," which, because of recent life events, that is a very, very fitting quote, and I loved it. And I had an internal battle with myself. Should I go in with a fine liner and go over everything in black, or should I leave it just with colored pencils? But as always, I went in with a black fine liner. I just can't help myself, and I do really think it was the right move here because I had some dainty white flowers that were not tulips, but they were still a part of the bouquet, and you couldn't really see them, and I didn't want to color them in a different color. And so I think the fine liner was the move, and I even added more details in the leaves and in the petals and added some of those lines. And I went over May because it was kind of scribbled. I did use colored pencil for it. And you can see here, moving on to the calendar spread, that I found this pink marker. I believe this is a Tombow brush pen. Yeah, and it's a beautiful pink color. So one side's a finer tip marker and the other side is like a felt tip. And I wish that I had used it for May on the cover page, but it's okay. We live and we learn. We're going in with our calendar spread here, still doing 2 pages. I didn't mind the big calendar spread last month, so we're still going with it this month. Although next month for June, I am already considering taking away my habit trackers. I'll talk more about that when we get to the habit tracker spread, but for now, we still have a double page calendar layout. And for each of the days, I did different colors vertically of all the different color pencils that I used for the spread. So we've got like the light pink, we've got a red, a darker pink, orange, yellows, and the green. And I tried to blend them up at the top. Hopefully you can see that. And writing the days of the week. And below it is just some more tulips. So tulips galore. Everywhere's going to be tulips, and they're kind of growing from the bottom, so a little bit more wild of a tulip. And here I was kind of getting the hang of drawing the tulips. That's the wonderful thing about bullet journaling is you'll draw so much of one thing that by the end of it, you'll come up with the most efficient way possible to do them. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm going in with the base color, which is the lightest color, and then I'll go in with the medium shade and shade everything out, and then I'll go in with the darkest shade and kind of add those finer lines in there and the sketchy kind of texture and just really blend it all together, and then we'll go in with the leaf color after that. But I wish I had used, which I already said, the marker for the cover page for May, because as you can see here, I was still able to take my red colored pencil and create sort of an ombre effect in the May letters. I'm sure you can see up there, and it still blended really well on top of the marker. I think it actually looked a little more blended, so I do use the marker for the rest of the spreads as well. But how is everyone doing? I can't believe it's already spring. I know I always talk about my books that I've read, and so what's some books that I've read recently? I read a horror book by Grady Hendrix called How to Sell a Haunted House, and it had a lot of dolls and puppets, and I don't want to give away too much. It was a very classic horror book in the sense of it was a haunted house, there were dolls, there were puppets, things happened in the house, but there was also some elements that were very unique, and so it was just a really quick read, and it was freaky. I definitely thought about it as I was falling asleep. I read a fantasy series as well. It was a duology, and it's called One Dark Window, and then the sequel is Two Twisted Crowns. It's very popular right now. It's all over TikTok, and my sister actually recommended them to me, and it's fantasy, but it's magic, and I have not read a book with magic in so long. And the magic system that they use is so different and so unique. I've never read anything like it. The way that the author writes is impeccable, and I gave the series 5 stars. So if you're looking for some books to read, those are some really good ones. So here you can see I'm finishing up the calendar spread. I think this is my favorite for the month. It's either that or the bouquet on the front. Let me know which one is your favorite, because I cannot choose. Okay, so now moving on to the habit tracker spread, and then a spread that I took over from last month because I have been loving, which I'm calling my bests of the month. So like this month would be May bests. Some people call it also like the brightest part of their day or the best part of their day, or whatever you want to say. And I write out one line every day of something that just made my day a little bit better, something I'm grateful for, something that made me smile. Yeah, but as for the habit tracker, the change that I mentioned earlier, I might not be moving it over for next month, for June. I was good about it for a while, keeping up with it, but there is just something about it. The best of the month is different for me. I don't know why. It's just one line. It's fun. I think that's what it is. It's fun, and it reminds me of like goodness happening all around me and in my life and things to be grateful for. And so it's just easier for me to remember to do, whereas the habit tracker is just so hard for me to remember to fill out. And then it'll be a few days and I'll be like, I need to go fill out my habit tracker. And so then I'm trying to remember from 3 days ago, did I, work out that day? Did I read that day? Did I drink enough water? And so it's just not very practical for me at this point. Not that I don't do the habits. Honestly, I do them every day. I'm pretty good about keeping up with things like that. And so I guess that's why I don't feel the need to like track them, is because I know that I've done them. So I don't know, it's just a mind game for me, and I don't know if I'm gonna win. So I'm thinking next month we might ditch the habit tracker, but it'll still be good. Now we're moving on to the last bit, which is our weekly spread, and I've been really into the Dutch door weekly spreads because I can do a really great illustration on the sides. Or like last month for April, I did an illustration to top the whole top of the page, and then you can kind of flip your doors from week to week and still have these great illustrations on the side, and then it's all very cohesive. And honestly, I just like it. I really have been enjoying it, so you'll probably be seeing them a lot. You might be sick of them, but I've just really been into them. So I'm drawing a couple of tulips on the side of either page. And then you can see here, I edited out some of the footage because it just felt repetitive for you to keep seeing me glue down this craft paper. But you can see there where it's in the background again, and I thought it just was a nice tie into the beginning. But I'm writing out the days of the week right now with that same pink marker, and then I'm adding the dates, and then I do go back in with a fine liner, but I skipped over it because it just felt really repetitive. I was like, you don't want to watch me write the days of the week twice, which is what happened. And then essentially I erase all of the pencil marks that you see, and that is pretty much it. We are about to be on to the final flip through. I hope everyone is enjoying their April, and I hope everyone's May goes incredibly well, and I will see you back here for June. So as always, thank you so much for being here. Bye everyone.